Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Exemplary scenery and national symbols depicting some of America's most important historic past. But unknown to many is the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art, situated at the heart of Washington, D.C.
The museum was actually founded in 1964 by Warren M. Robbins, who was a former government worker who basically created the museum and housed it in the Frederick Douglass's former home. And it kind of outgrew. He actually, through an act of Congress, was able to actually move it here. And since 1979, it's become known as the Museum of African Art.
Mission is to look at the questions of what Africa is, and that might be by combining African American and African artists, or by combining South African artists in dialogue with Brazilian artists. There's a lot of different ways to expand the concept of what Africa is, but we still always try and bring it back to something that will open up a dialogue of how this is about Africa, how it is about a concept of Africa, not necessarily a concept of African American.
Fostering and sustaining an understanding of the diverse culture of Africa as embodied in their visual art is the heart of the museum's mission. Its collection of traditional and contemporary art is as varied and spectacular as the continent from which it originated.
What is important in the job that I have is actually allowing us to explore alternative visions of what Africa is and different definitions. So some of these questions really are basic. Where is Africa? Is Africa south of the Sahara? Does it include Egypt? When is Africa? Is Africa caught in a mythic time of a noble past, or does it include contemporary art such as we're seeing? These are very basic questions, and you can often find really exciting works of art that help people reconsider how we see the world itself.
Its exhibitions and innovative programming are examples of excellence, introducing, or in some cases, reintroducing the wonder that is Africa's art to as many people as possible.
This museum has a long history of looking at African art in many different dynamic ways, of looking at the historic Minkisi, which are medicinal figures from the Democratic Republic of Congo, or really the Luango coast along west central Africa. The second exhibition is one called Artists in Dialogue 2, and I will take you up to see these exhibitions. And that focuses on a contemporary South African artist in dialogue with a contemporary Brazilian artist. And the artworks have been created specifically for this museum, so they are site-specific, and they're just illustrating how we communicate different ways.
Artists in Dialogue is a unique series of exhibition in which the distinctive style and techniques of two artists are united in a visual call and response. In this second installation of the National Museum of African Art, invited artists from separate continents, each of whom works with unconventional material that is imaginative, extend notions of the canvas and painting. The conversation into which these artists have entered to is not determined by geographic or nationality, but by the creativity with which each employs his distinctive material and their overlapping interest in their contours and mysteries of the human body.
Our own collection comprises of approximately 9,500 works of art. Of these, I would say 9,000 are probably what we typically call tradition-based, so including some of the finest examples of Nkisi figures, as I mentioned, these power figures from Congo, as well as masks, ceramics, a wide range of media. We also have what often get referred to as popular arts.
Africa's visual arts can easily be appreciated for their visual power and the skill with which they are made. The messages embedded in an object's material, form and style speak to authentic systems that are significant to African cultures and reveal the importance behind their art. A deeper understanding of some of the continent's most compelling art forms may be gained by visiting the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art.